Get your ass some microfiber towels. Quit killing the planet.
He got a middle part going on. Where's the widow's peak?
His not gay.
Welcome to another Love is Blind recap with me and Will. Hello, Will.
We are in America. Our grammar goes you and then I. Thank you very much. It is.
I'm being colloquial with our audience. Do you know what that word means?
It is an English term.
This is the third drop recap. A lot went down in just 2 episodes, so we have a lot to talk about today. This is the messiest season ever. The casting is highly questionable, and I remember after the last season's casting, Chelsea was like, I'm gonna join the casting team and we're gonna turn this around. Where are you?
That's where she keeps coming into this on TikTok. I keep seeing things about Chelsea and casting. It's because she wanted to insert herself into the casting process?
Yes, and she was like, I'm gonna make it so much better. Girl, it's worse. I think we should start with Tim and Alex. He kind of ate a little bit, but he also disappointed me with that breakup.
If you were ever truly in love with somebody and they never truly backstabbed you, to say something like,
and with that in mind, I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again.
is pretty harsh, my friend.
He tried to hit her where it hurts, and honestly, he did this after making her stop eating her wings, which is just even worse on top of it all.
I kind of respect that in a way. Get it done, then leave, let her eat in peace.
As we know, this all stemmed from the meeting that they had with Tim's parents, which I thought was such a weird setup, by the way, like them sitting on the couch at Tim and Alex's house, or was that Tim's house?
It was sitting on the couch, and then the greeting took place with Alex walking in and them getting up off the couch, like walking in the front door, no Alex being met outside and being brought in by Tim or nothing.
Once again, Love is Blind is giving us no context to work with. I'm like, how did they get here? Who are they? Like, what's going on? Alex rolls up, hand in her pocket, and just goes a little one-armed hug to each of the parents.
Side hug, a 10-year-old to Aunt Rebecca type side hug.
The look on her face is one of, I don't want to fucking be here. Honestly, she seemed really disinterested in the whole thing.
I mean, even going back to Mexico, I think that she seemed a little shy in a lot of those moments on camera. But it's your first impression with your in-laws. You gotta buck up. It is game time. You're trying to, set the tone for your relationship. You can't go in there half-baked, half-assed.
I agree, and even though they asked her 0 questions about herself and her life, I felt like her responses were very good.
They were very wifey.
Yeah, wifey material.
They were looking for wifey girl. But yeah, they had no interest in getting to know her and her background, or at least that's what the cut showed.
Yes, that is what the cut showed, and the cut does not show much.
This video that we're posting is not going live right after the drop. So we do have a little bit of information gathered from other sources, say interviews that we've seen people like Tim do, giving clarity to the situation, talking about how they were having a lot of arguments off camera. They were trying to keep their business, their dirty laundry out of the public airwaves, but you know what you signed up for.
You're on a reality show.
We need it on tape.
I don't know, I wish I could have seen with my own eyes what was going on, because to me, Alex seemed very chill.
Alex seems very disengaged, I would say.
Disengaged is a good word.
She's sitting on the couch while he's breaking up with her, and she's like, well, I'm committed, I'm 100% in on this, and blah, 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 blah. But your actions speak louder than words, and if you're gonna go ahead and, claim to be wifey material, claim to be all in for this relationship, but at the same time, he's talking about, you're taking naps when my parents just drove 10 hours to come and meet you, and then you're gonna be gone for the second half of the day anyway. He cooked a full meal for your family, and then he went and did the dishes himself. These aren't deal breakers, but at the same time, you're so new in this relationship. I think anybody in a brand new relationship about to get married, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I would be probably over-delivering probably what I would wind up doing in natural life. Unexpressed expectations is premeditated resentment. You should be fine speaking what you need from your partner, but it shouldn't need to be continuously requested. It should be said, if I'm cooking, you're doing dishes. If I'm, if you don't have work one day and the house is a mess, I would just appreciate it being picked up. It's not the fact that she isn't that way yet. It's the fact that she needs to be that way going forward if she wants to be with him. Now, if that was their only one offense and he's using that as a reason to break up, that's a problem, because premeditated resentment. He's expecting things of her without...
Which he has done before. They have one little argument in Mexico and he's immediately like, I'm done, I'm not sleeping here, da 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 da. He does not have a lot of patience for her to learn.
Yeah, he's expecting her to fit right into the lifestyle that he wants. I'm not sure if he is fully molding to her lifestyle either.
Great point.
Where's the dynamic there? Where's the give and take, Tim?
There is none, and that's why they broke up. And honestly, I liked them at first, but I just think they're not a good match. And you know what? That just is what it is. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Best of luck to them both, truly. I love seeing Alex now with her new bob. It looks amazing. Once again in this drop, Hannah continues to read Nick to filth at every possible opportunity. We gotta talk about the party specifically because I feel like that really showed a lot about their relationship.
I think you get to see Nick a little bit back in his element where he doesn't feel so judged and emasculated, where he gets to meet with one of the other girls from the pod. What's her name?
Katie.
Katie. He's back to his swaggy self, for better or worse.
Do you feel like that man was wasted at that party? Because he was like, what? Like, don't do that.
He definitely talks in like cursive when he's like feeling good. He's like, what do you mean? Here's my conspiracy theory. Katie is Hannah's best friend. Katie is going over there talking about how attractive Nick is, flirting with Nick while Hannah is watching. Hannah produced Katie onto Nick for the plot.
That's interesting because Nick also wanted to talk to Katie before as well.
Of course. But we didn't even see him and Katie together in the pods, much of anything, when the show started. So it wasn't that big of a flame. 3 days, they were on each other's number one. And on the third or fourth day, Katie was like, no more, because he was too similar to the guys she normally dates.
And you know what? Katie really read him to filth during their conversation, and what she said was completely accurate. He is hiding his insecurity behind this sarcastic, like, oh, you're so sexy kind of thing that he does. And he doesn't need to do that.
He's clearly a nice guy. You could tell that he's a nice guy and an even-tempered guy by being able to handle all the bullshit that Hannah throws at him. Rightfully or wrongly so, she is being particularly ruthless on him to the point
She's
where
harsh.
it makes her look bad and makes me feel bad for Nick. Now, Nick, do I think you're ready for marriage? Absolutely not. But at the same time, you don't deserve to be read like this by someone who is supposedly in love with you.
What really got me was Hannah saying,
Are you mature enough, Nick? Because I taught you fucking everything that you fucking know. I turned you into a boy into a fucking man.
that whole diatribe was fucking crazy.
And I don't even think that's accurate, because if he's a man now, then why the fuck are you still reading him to filth every chance you get?
Right. I honestly, truly, from what I saw in the show, I did not see much growing from a boy into a man. The things that she was asking him were actually not a big deal at all to a mature, grown man. But to him, it was like, you're trying to change who I am. You're trying to change everything about me. And she's like, can you just let the dog out and do the dishes and not flirt with people? I feel like those aren't big things.
The way that you say things matter, not just what you say. And everybody receives information and instruction differently. And when you talk about managing people, you have to learn how to meet people where they are at in your managerial style. Believe it or not, she is managing Nick.
She is.
And if you want to manage Nick and get through to Nick, you need to try and learn how to speak Nick's language, because what you're doing is not working. We know you don't respect him. We know you don't even really like him. You don't want to be in this relationship, but trying to claim credit for something that clearly isn't even remotely close to what you're looking for in a partner isn't the brag I think you're trying to claim there. Personally.
Yeah. I admire Hannah's directness, and there were several things that she said that I was like, you know what? Like, you're really good at saying how you feel and like laying it on him. And I think back to her in the pods, even just confronting him about how he's too suave and doing too much. She's very direct, and I like that, but I think sometimes she just takes it so far that when you take it that far, the person's gonna stop listening to the actual constructive things that you're saying and just hear like you yelling at them. And that's not productive.
And I honestly don't understand anybody still living with their parents, no knock on that, wanting to jump on a show and say, I'm ready to get married, I want the love of my life. You clearly haven't dated enough and been in long-term relationships to understand yourself and your partner's needs, you haven't gotten that far yet in relationships to want to be on a show like this and be fully committed.
That's a really good point. I feel like you can't go on Love is Blind and be moving from your parents' house to your spouse's house. I don't know what he was like in the past. I don't know if he's lived on his own before, but even when Hannah was listing out the responsibilities, like, what do you do at home? And he was like, I take care of the cat. And she was like, your dad wakes up at 5 a.m. and feeds the cat. So like, what do you do?
I also want to be careful when using the term like mature, because I think some people look at that as like a character flaw, when really it's just a life experience.
It's a life experience and a skill that you build. It's not something that we all know. When I first moved out of my parents' house, I didn't even know how to do laundry, okay? I didn't even know how to correctly load a dishwasher until we met. When Will saw the way that I load the dishwasher, he was like, girl, I'm gonna do the dishes.
Dishes are my responsibility.
That doesn't mean that I'm immature. It's just like you keep learning things and how things work. Obviously, everyone's gonna be different. Hannah, I'm sure, she's someone who uses a lot of paper towels. Some people don't. It just depends on who you are and what your process is.
Get your ass some microfiber towels. Quit killing the planet.
It's not a knock on him personally. There's nothing against him because I actually think he's a really nice person.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He needs to date more. He needs to learn how to think of the partner first. You flirting is not part of your personality. So
that is not who you
asking
are.
You to stop communicating with other single women that way is not a knock on you as a person, because when you really found the right person, you don't need to talk to other people that way.
As for Hannah, I think you gotta work on your delivery a little bit. She's kind of one of those people who is like, I'm not a bitch, I'm just honest, I'm just real. And it's like, actually, you're kind of mean.
Honesty without compassion is cruelty. Take the other person's feelings into account when you are trying to deliver your truth. It's gonna turn arguments into proper, constructive conversations.
Side note, why did she stick around so long?
She's here for the show. He's here for the show. There's no way he's not here.
He's here for the show. He's doing like Love is Blind themed real estate TikToks.
He's doing photo shoots, getting his modeling, his 5'8" ass into modeling. Like
He is?
Like, yeah, he's got all these new
Oh
photos
my
added to
God.
his Instagram.
Nick.
He's looking okay. Like they're pretty decent photos.
I mean, look, these days, like everyone who's going on reality TV is doing it for a little bit of that clout, and I support it 100%. It's just funny. Ramses and Marissa. Ramses continues to be the worst.
He didn't start off the worst.
But now I'm like, you are selfish.
He thinks with his dick.
I'm just thinking with my dick.
He talks in circles without ever actually addressing. He is ultimately dancing around the issues that are going to define their relationship. And I think Marissa was bringing that up when she was like, there are other times in our lives in which I am not going to be affectionate. Is he going to jump ship because his dick's not getting?
Anyways, I agree. The fact that he's even confronting her about not wanting to have sex when she's PMSing.
He's just not used to being sympathetic to the fact that there's a weekend or a few days every month to a woman that just does not have the desire to be touched, a desire to want to, a short fuse or maybe a couch potato for a few days while they're dealing with the fucking turmoil that goes on in their body.
That is part of dating women, Ramses. Women have periods. Women have a full-fledged menstrual cycle that lasts 28 days, and at certain parts of that cycle, you don't want to be touched. Get used to it.
You're in an engagement period right now in which you are creating a stink about how the rest of your life is going to look because she went 2 days without wanting to be affectionate on you. Let me tell you, I mean, if it is as bare bones as that, I would just be talking to my Bria and I would say, what's going on the past couple of days? I feel like you've been a little distant from me.
And I would say, I'm PMSing. I have a short fuse. My head hurts. Like, I just want to be left alone.
Okay, is there anything I can get for you to make this easier?
Yes, I want a cookies and cream milkshake from Shake Shack.
Done. 2 days passes, 3 days passes. Oh, we're back to normal. Good. It was just PMS. I'm not overthinking every little thing that my wife or fiance does.
We need Ramses to watch that. That was conflict resolution, Ramses. That's what needs to happen. Also, side note, what the fuck are they even talking about in half of their arguments? Because we just get put in at a random moment where no one's saying exactly what they're talking about. I don't even know if that's what they were arguing about this past time.
This is a Kathy Hilton conversation.
It was in shorthand. Ramses was like, I just feel like, you know what I mean? And it's just, I just feel different. And she's like, yeah, like, I feel like you feel different because of what your friends are doing. And you people, no, she didn't even say friends. She just said, people are in your ear and they get in your ear. I'm like, who are you talking about? Who are you talking
I
about?
just want it to be, you know how it, and it's not, but if this is going to be the rest of our life.
And she's just like, yeah. Like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
And then it cut forward 2-3 days. She's no longer in her, state.
She's out of the luteal phase.
She's out of the luteal phase, and he is, they're all back to normal. Did they actually resolve this conflict? Are they through it? Did they just brush it under the rug? What's happening?
I think they brushed
here?
it under the rug until her PMS was over, and then when it was over, she was normal again, and he was like, yay, no conversation needed. The same thing's gonna happen next month, Ramses. I also wanna say that we definitely saw a different side of Marissa's mom at the dress fitting.
A little softer.
Very soft. She's kind of come to terms with it. I think she also said she witnessed Ramses doing something really nice for Marissa and picking up something for her. She, she's got a soft heart a little bit. Softened just a little bit towards Ramses. I also love how she told everyone at the dress fitting that she was gonna cut Ramses' balls off, and they were like, girls, mothers and daughters. I love it.
What is the father-in-law to the daughter equivalent?
The dad would be like, yeah, I told her that if she don't treat my son right, he's gonna knock her up and leave her.
Oh, okay.
And then the song would be like, gonna knock you up, 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 and then I'm gonna leave you. Because the songs are always directly applied to what happened.
Put a piggy in the blanket, left it in the oven.
Garrett and Taylor, disappointing.
Can we just say, via social media, if there is not a couple more obviously married, their TikToks, their Instagrams are just so full-blown obvious. We get it. You're married.
Garrett's glow up is crazy. He got a middle part going on. Where's the widow's peak? I love it, but I was very disappointed in Garrett's behavior. It's not even the malicious behavior. It's like,
It's just Bush League.
oh, oops, I didn't know, that I wasn't supposed to do that. You can't hold it against him really, because it wasn't with malicious intent, and now that he knows that it's wrong, he's definitely not gonna do it again. Even when she was confronting him, he was like, I know, you're so right, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, blah, blah, blah.
He strikes me as someone who you don't have to tell him to do the same thing multiple times. Once you tell him once, he kind of gets it. That's how he strikes me.
I just don't understand why he would lie and say that he liked the message and didn't respond, when his response further solidified how committed he was to her. Why wouldn't you just admit that you said that to your ex?
So let's run through this. He says, I only like the message. She says you shouldn't have engaged at all. Or if you're going to say anything, say you are engaged and you are getting married in mere weeks. And then fast forward with Tyler and Ashley, and this moment gets brought up again, and Garrett slips up. And he doesn't say he just liked the message. He says,
hey, I didn't tell you this, but I met someone, I'm engaged, and basically, I don't think we should continue sending messages, and I hope you have a great life. See you later or something.
You did say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and now obviously Taylor is like, well, what the hell did you actually do? Because you told me before you liked the message. You're saying that liking and responding something like that is the same thing, which we all know that's not true. But what I don't understand in the slip up here, Garrett, let's be real, show some receipts here, Garrett. If you responded exactly how Taylor wanted you to respond, which is by saying you aren't interested in carrying on communication with her anymore, wish you all the best, bye-bye, why wouldn't you have just told her that in the beginning? Because that's clearly what she wanted to hear in the first place.
All of this could have been avoided if he would have just opened the phone and showed her the message. And I don't even know how she found out, because once again, we have no fucking context to this argument. But I would imagine that he would be like, oh my gosh, my ex messaged me and this is what happened, and just leave it at that. And she would be like, oh, weird. Okay, well, I'm glad you shut it down. Problem solved. Now that you lied, it just adds a really stupid element to it where it's I think she said it best when she said, I don't want to have to go through your phone. I don't want to have to go through your phone. I don't want to have to distrust you. I don't want to have to be checking up on your shit. But you're making me very suspicious because you're lying about something very weird. But this is also just a scenario where Taylor is very good at expressing what she needs. this is how you should act going forward. If this ever happens again, you need to tell me and do this. And then they moved on. And I feel like they made a very smooth recovery from that.
I think it's a foregone conclusion that they have made it to the altar.
You think it's that obvious that there's just no question
I
whatsoever?
think it's that obvious, no question whatsoever.
Ashley and Tyler, this is one that really breaks my spirit because we have to watch this man continuously lie when we know the truth. Maybe we are missing some aspects where he was finally honest, but the fact that he could sit there and say,
Do the kids know what you look like?
I don't think so.
that is a very obvious, clear lie. And there is nothing that he could say off camera to undo that lie. Unless he said off camera later on, just kidding. Like, I don't know. What could undo that lie? It's so blatant.
Why? I never understand why people lie about things so obviously, like,
Provable. It's just so easily provable, especially since the sperm donee Bree has been posting pictures of Tyler with the kids and posted a full TikTok series tell-all breaking down the whole story, proving that he is more than just a sperm donor. I think it's fairly obvious that what he's sharing with Ashley is not entirely accurate.
Right.
And that is just taking away her informed decision about what she wants to do at the altar or what she even want to do in the pods, frankly.
If you were honest about this in the very beginning, you may have lost Ashley. That may be true. And in the long term, maybe it works out for the best because Ashley's able to overlook that. And maybe she wants to be with you bad enough to overlook that and gain 3 stepchildren. That may be what she ends up thinking is okay, given a quality relationship with you. But you are proving yourself to be untrustworthy
Diabolical.
and, quite frankly, a little irresponsible.
I agree. Like, it's not that you can't find a partner if you already have kids. If he would have said in the pods, I was a sperm donor and then I had a little thing going on, I have 3 kids, I'm in their lives, I don't have full custody or anything like that, like, but they're around. People are okay with partners that have kids. That's not a deal breaker for a lot of people.
I think a lot of women love a man who is a responsible dad too, just like someone who's I don't have custody. It's not the relationship that the mother wants, and ultimately I am there when they need me because I am
Their father.
I'm their father, and I'm gonna make sure that nothing ever bad happens and that they're set. Like, you say things like that, and damn, you look like a damn responsible stand-up gentleman.
Exactly. You could have played this completely different. Instead, you chose to lie, and now you're getting exposed. And I can't wait for the reunion because if they bring out Bree,
Man, I don't think she's gonna come. She's got way too private in her video where she was like, she just doesn't want to be the center of attention. But if she
that would be crazy. Maybe they'll just play the TikToks. I don't know if they've already filmed it, but I would love to see her there. I would love to know if Ashley and Tyler are still together because she's defending him on Instagram in her comment section. And it's very interesting. This is what makes me think maybe there's more going on behind the scenes that we don't know.
I'm losing more and more faith in the producers because they continue to leave so much stuff out in these episodes, and we don't get as much in all this. I mean, get your contracts more ironed out and give us more of the raw footage because what you're doing right now, it ain't working.
I want to end this video by giving a little shout out to Nick and Vanessa Lachey because we haven't seen them in a while on the show, and they made an appearance again for the dress fittings and suit fittings. I just gotta say, what the hell was that introduction with Vanessa when she walks in and they're like,
Hannah's friends might have helped her come to a conclusion about what she wants to do with the relationship, but she hasn't confirmed that yet.
Well, I'm sorry I came in on that note, but I am gonna say, let's flip it around.
read the room. Also, Nick Lachey coming in with his yes sir. His code switching is very odd.
Yes, sir. It sounds a lot like, what's up?
Nick Lachey may as well have walked in going, what's up? With the way he said, yes sir. Or you could have just said, hey boys,
Be a
what's up
man.
guys? Even when Nick tries to have a deep moment with the boys when they're trying on their suits, it's just very forced and weird.
Yeah, I think it's just the nature of also just 7 seasons of this show. There's
Yeah.
only so many things you can kind of continue to say. And ultimately, I think that we look for the Andy Cohens.
Ooh.
We look for the people who know the drama, lead and dive into the drama rather than trying to, dress up a skunk if we shall say.
Ooh, put lipstick on a pig.
Put lipstick on a pig.
They better come correct at this reunion because this is their last chance. Nick and Vanessa need to ask the questions that need to be asked. They need to dive deep. They need to pull the receipts like they did on Trevor last season.
And stop trying to be Switzerland. Dive in. Pick sides when there's obvious, clear right and wrong sides. Talk about moments in which things are actually like kind of fucked up and say, that was fucked up. You get it?
I know, but sometimes they accidentally pick the wrong side and you're just like,
Well, that's the nature of not being Switzerland. You're not always on the right side of history every time, I guess.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing Garrett and Taylor's wedding. I don't think there will be any other ones. So we'll see you next week for the next recap. Comment down below if you have any commentary on this latest drop. Were we harsher this time? I think not.
I don't think we were as harsh as we could have been.
We were ruthless last time.
But we do have the weddings, these gaudy weddings.
Highly lit, highly staged. I can't wait to hear all the officiants go, "You met in the pods and agreed to marry each other sight unseen.
Sight unseen!
To determine if love was truly blind."
I need Nick Lachey to get sight unseen tattooed on himself somewhere.
I would love that. Anyway, if you like reality TV recaps, internet history, pop culture stuff, subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on TikTok because I post similar stuff over there. If you like Will, comment down below and hype him up. I love reading positive comments to him, although he's getting a bit big for his britches, I would say. So we might need to knock him down a peg or two.
This channel is about to become the Will and Bria.
It's a
YouTube
family channel. Bye.